Okay, so I've been gone for like almost 3 weeks now, and well, I was just mostly grinding out TDX during that time period. There was also a lot of videos I wanted to make, but I didn't really feel like editing that much, so this video is just going to serve that purpose. Going over all the updates in TDS, the events happening in TDX, and also the Haunt, which I want to talk about, but didn't really have time for it. Anyways, I'll be enjoying. Let's start with the Gatling gun, as it was recently nerfed. In the Pursuit rework, it got more expensive, it got less range to deal damage in, assume you weren't using FPS mode, and its damage dropped. I'll be looking solely at the max level and using all of the buffs, but not Pierce. Before the nerf, the most amount of damage that you could have gotten from the Gatling gun was 160, and considering that it used to attack every 0.05 seconds, that meant that if you weren't using Pierce, it would produce about 3,200 DPS. Since then, however, its damage has been decreased to around 104, meaning that its DPS has lowered to around 2,080, which is a drop of about 35%. And if you're wondering, with Pierce, then the DPS would be around 5,200, which is less than the original 8,000 that the Gatling gun used to do. To be honest, if it needed to be banned from a specific night in an event, it was probably too overpowered to begin with and probably should have gotten nerfed, so I'm not too mad. Hey, Editing Bee here. So, the Gatling gun ended up getting buffed while I was editing this video, and I really don't feel like re-editing this entire video, so if you want to check out the new current stats, just go on to the TDS Discord, or you could just wait for the wikis to update, but it's your choice. Thanks for understanding. Bye. Moving on from that is the Commando rework, which is kind of important since not only was it the first time Commando would ever come back on sale, even during its own event it wasn't on sale, but it would have also really helped the tower since it was pretty much useless for the most part, other than flexing. So, long story short, even though the Commando did get a bit more expensive, in return it ended up getting hand detection, which finally, after a while, its bombs are now an actual separate ability, which are pretty useful. It now has more damage, and it does pierce. I know it does a few more other things, but I'm not reading all of that on the TDS wiki. The only downside I could think of was that if you want to get this, you had to pay about $10 worth of Robux, which is pretty costly if you ask me, especially for a tower that's basically a sub-DPS. But that's my opinion. Let's just move on to the Pursuit rework. It actually is the first tower to utilize the two-path system. On the top path, you can get more DPS, and on the bottom path, you can get more explosion damage. It is a cool concept, sure, but considering that you're most likely just going to use the stronger ones to be modes like Hardcore or Fallen, it pretty much means that for the most part, the bottom path isn't really that useful. Yeah, it's cheaper, but it doesn't give that much DPS. And besides, you're going to make bank anyways by the end of the game, so why not just save up for the top path? It's a good concept, yes, but I feel like if they make the bottom path a bit better, then it would actually be perfect.
Excuse me, what the actual are you doing in my house?
So to start off with, TDX recently turned a year old. And with that, all of the bosses got a slight redesign for the occasion, and we got a limited time crate with birthday skins. My favorite is the birthday John skin. Also the Halloween event, which is still going on. Grinding the battle pass was surprisingly easy since I just used a modified version of the Vicious Monog strategy. The only difference is that I placed 7 max top path barracks instead of 5, and I always brought baits. So, the Haunt was disappointing, obviously. It comes down to how the event was run. Basically, unlike past events where rewards were tied to playing games, the Haunt tied rewards to the costume contest, which basically meant there wasn't really a purpose to participate. That doesn't mean games in the Haunt event were bad. I really enjoyed playing Piggy, Pressure, and Banana Eats. It's that not keeping the pattern of play games to get rewards probably doomed this event.